Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back into another edition of Jake's Takes. I am your host, Jake Massucci, and today we got another edition of the show. Today we got another draft show. We're going to be focusing on the great matchup of Cameron Boozer versus Caleb Wilson. It was an unbelievable game last weekend. I was really locked in for this one, and there were some flashes from both of these guys where I was just like, man, this class is just so stacked. I mean, the week before we did Debanza versus Peterson. I thought that was an unbelievable matchup. With this one, it's going to be a film breakdown. So I'm excited to do film. I did a little film on the Cooper Flag stuff last year, so we're going to reincorporate it for this one. So if you can try to watch this one, I'll have the film up, shared screen as normal. I will do my best also for audio listeners to talk it out the best I possibly can so you can imagine what I'm saying. So without further ado, I'm going to cue the music. All right, so let's get right into it. We're going to start with Caleb Wilson. This was a really, really good game. First of all, I loved watching this game. North Carolina Duke is always like a crazy environment. There's so many people, and it's one of the best rivalries in sports. So the fact that it always turns into a good game, and this one was just a great finish with North Carolina winning this game. So I'm really excited to talk about it. Really excited to dive into each of these guys. So let's get going with it. We're going to start with Caleb Wilson here. He just had a ridiculous game in this one, 23 points, and just played really well throughout. We're gonna dive into some of the things he did really well and some of the things I think he can improve on. So I got a couple clips for you guys here. This one's with 13:27 left. Duke really got off to a hot start in this game. They were up 18-5 at this moment. So this is off a blob. Caleb Wilson catches it top the key. And with this one, he does a great job driving into the high post area and then telling his guy to lift. Especially in college basketball, this is kind of like a main thing. It's kind of a Memphis style of like a dribble drive type thing, where getting into that and having the guy lift, if you give it to the corner guy, they can easily get a drive off of this. So this is a great play here by Wilson. He then separates it into a one-on-one with Brown. And this is just a ridiculous shot, just a fadeaway double clutch right over Malik Brown. And this is the shot that really got him going throughout the game. He took one shot that was like a little mid-range shot where he did a jab step and then he just completely missed the shot, you know? And that was at the beginning of the game, and I was like, "Oh, what's going on with Caleb here? Like, is he going to have a good game? Is he going to step up?" And the announcers were hyping up his hyper athletic side and hyper competitive side. So I was like, "Oh, maybe this is just a big moment for him." And then he hits the shot, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this guy is going to have a ridiculous game." So that to get it started was just unbelievable. So moving into the next play, North Carolina's making a little bit of comeback. Caleb Wilson was hitting some shots here. He hit a couple tough mid-range shots. So this is 10-13 left. It's 22-16. He gets it kind of like the Memphis style I talked about, where he lifts up a little bit, and then he's going to get it off of this screen and roll where the other two were kind of doing it. They were trying to get Vsar on the roll. And then their backup guard hits him at the top of the key. Cameron Boozer is playing super off of him here. And this is more because Caleb Wilson's a 25% shooter. But this is kind of what gives people hope in the NBA scouting. He's got a clean release. He hit this three right here off the catch and shoot spot three. And it's a very clean release. It's a little bit of a two motion shot where he kind of holds it up at the top and will stop the ball for a second and then shoot the ball. So that's something where I'm a little concerned about because a lot of people with two motion shots don't end up shooting it that great in the NBA. But here, it gives you hope. Okay, he's going to be able to hopefully hit some open threes and hopefully be able to make it happen, right? So this was a big three, makes it 22-19. North Carolina then hit another three and was down one here. There's 7:16 left. They just get a steal. They're on the break. Swing to Wilson. And then he stops the ball here, and he's going one-on-one with Boozer, tries to shoot it right over him, air ball. right? And this is a moment where like the fans are going crazy. North Carolina's going on a run. They've come all the way back again. They were down 18-5 at the beginning of this game. And this is a shot that I absolutely hate, especially for a 25% three-point shooter where it's like, okay, you're going to jab on him. I like that. Why don't you just take him down and take him one-on-one, right? You've hit a couple mid-range shot. You already got your three earlier, a shot that you normally don't hit. Why are you taking this shot? You know, I get it. Boozer's daring you to shoot a shot from here, but why not drive it? Try to see if you can get some offense here. It's not my favorite shot here. With Wilson, and I feel like a lot of people end up taking the shot. That shot selection is just not great for me moving into that situation. Okay, next play. This is the start of the second half. Duke went on a little run to end the first half. They're up 41-29 in this stage. Here he gets the ball in the post. He's got a one-on-one with Boozer, and this just shows you another example of his shot making. Like, this is just a ridiculous shot. I'm going to rewind a little bit, but he's got it in the post here, takes a dribble, and is looking for the fadeaway, right? Boozer's ready for it. Then he initiates contact with Boozer and tries to get Boozer just a little bit away from him, just so he's got enough room to take another fadeaway right in his face. This is NBA shot making right here, just at its prime. And he hit so many of these kind of shots where you're like, man, that is a really, really tough shot, right? Um, like those kind of shot making is what I'm looking for. You know, like, will you be able to score at the NBA level? And with Wilson, like, yes, his 3-point shot is definitely a question. He's shooting it at 25%. Yes, he's got a two motion shot. It's like, I'm not a big fan of that shot. But if you're able to hit these tough fadeaways and get into spots where it's like, okay, that was a really good shot. That was really tough. Like, those are NBA shots that I'm looking for where I'm like, man, that is really impressive. So Wilson there with just an unbelievable shot there. This is later in the second half, about 19 minutes. They're still down 10 here. It's after he hit his first shot. Um, yeah, throughout the game, I mean, I've talked about Vsar a little bit. He struggled in the first half and then really picked it up. But like, Wilson did a great job, like throughout the game, moving and really like getting his team going here. For this play here, he catches it in the corner and then immediately gets Cameron Boozer to move, right? Uses that jab step again that he absolutely loves, and just immediately Boozer like moves to the other side, and then Wilson just beats him. And it's a quick move, right? Quick jab right into it. A lot of coaches talk about like point two. You know, you got to make your decision in point two, whether you're going to dribble, shoot, or pass, right? He made his decision. He was going to jab and then see where Cameron Boozer went. Cam Boozer completely went with the jab. And then Wilson was like, okay, I'm going right downhill, right? Drives, goes right downhill, and with a 1 foot, nice left handed finish. Now, with a lot of guys, and especially once I get to Boozer, I'm going to talk about how I love how Boozer plays off too, right? With a lot of guys, you'll look at it and coaches will be like, man, I'd rather him go off two there. When I'm looking at NBA potential, I like it when guys can finish both off 1 foot and 2 feet, right? And Wilson does a great job really using his length and his long strides, kind of like what I talked about with Debansa and his ability to do both. He used his long strides to get past Ngamba, get past Cam Boozer, and go right into it, into his left-handed finish. If you're able to be athletic enough and finish through the contact like that, in my opinion, you could do whatever you want, you know? And this was an unbelievable take by Wilson for the finish here. Okay. Moving on to the next play, he gets a skip from the corner off of a screener roll. Number 44 was hitting him with a lot of skip passes that were really nice. Here he fakes the three, and he decides in point two right away what his decision-making is. He's going to try to get downhill, right? Boozer does a great job staying attached and beating him to the spot, which stops him immediately. And then Wilson's like, okay, we're going to try to take him one-on-one now. Reloads, tries to get him in a drive, and then he immediately goes jump stop inside the paint, right? And Boozer's all over this. He's beat him to the spot. He's stopped him now. Now, with this decision-making process, I want him to kick to one of these shooters at the top of the key. He's got a guy at the top of the key, and then he's got a guy on the left wing, right? Um, Isaiah Evans has shrunk onto him. Caleb Foster has shrunk onto him because he's hit so many tough shots in the past. So these guys are shrinking on him, right? And here Wilson decides to try to bully, go right through Cameron Boozer. That's not your strong suit. You are strong. You know, he's a very strong offensive player. But Cameron Boozer is one of the strongest people probably in college basketball. And you're not going to out physical him, man. Like Boozer is very, very physical. And Wilson, yes, he can 100% get Boozer off his spots when Boozer isn't in full like balance, right? But here, once he gets Boozer stopped off the jump stop, which is a great jump stop in this situation, Boozer is fully on balance. You shouldn't try to go through somebody when they're fully on balance. This is easy. Just kick. There's 7 seconds on the shot clock. If you kick it, I believe that's Trimble at the top of the key. You kick it to Trimble, he could go one more and you could have a three out of this, right? So this, I'm just looking for that decision making to realize, hey, I don't have a shot here. I don't need to take a shot here. Let's try to kick it out and see if we can get more offense moving from that point of view. At 4:17 left in this game. First of all, I wanted to talk about Cameron Boozer here. He gets doubled right here and then just makes a really good pass to Sar in the corner for a three. Sar missed this three, but that was just a really good read by Boozer off the double team. Okay, Wilson grabs the rebound here, starts taking it in transition. Again, the handle is a little bit of a question. He's very similar to Debanza, where he's got some things where it's like, oh, he's very long, he's very flexible, he's still like kind of growing into his body. So I'm curious to see like where the handle is going to end up and where some of those things are. He's flexible, so again, that gives me hope with like the dribbling. So we will see 100% as a ball handler here. Again, same thing. Boozer's on balance here. I see no need to try to drive through him, right? Boozer's on balance. He's ready to go. And this is why, for this situation, you do not go off 1 foot. You should try to go 2 footed jump stop. Trimble's cutting here. He probably has Trimble for a layup here if he did the 2 footed jump stop, or you could fake pass to Trimble and you could probably get the guy on the corner that's tagging and helping on you wide open for three. So there's multiple situations here. And yes, like you're looking at Wilson and he's a scorer and he's trying to look at those. But these are just some playmaking things that I see with Wilson that I think he can really clean up. And I just don't know if his team needed this at this moment. There's 4 minutes left. They're down four in this game. You don't need him to go 1-on-3 pretty much in this situation. So I did not think this was a good shot here. And yeah, those were some of the positives and negatives. Let's look at the defense here. He had some ridiculous plays. This is late in the first half. Okay. Caden Boozer has the ball, trying to get it to Cam Boozer. Cam Boozer has a little bit of a mismatch here. Boozer drives. Wilson's in great help position here. And if you're Malik Brown, you should probably be more in the dunker spot to try to move Wilson. Especially here, you could almost flash a little bit and like act like you're trying to get the ball. Instead, he's just kind of standing, so Wilson can kind of just do whatever he wants. Boozer moves into the fake, and then Wilson's reading it right here. Look at this first step. He's already ready for it, and then just immediately comes in and absolutely packs this ball. Shows you his athleticism. It shows you that he could be a legitimate threat as a rim protector in the NBA. So I'm super excited for him as a defender in this situation. Really good defense there. Okay, passing. I wanted to look at it a little bit. This is late in the second half, 6:10 left. They're down 7 at the moment. Um, he gets the ball and gets a one-on-one with Brown. He liked the matchup with Brown. Vicini, especially when I listened to him, was talking about how much he likes Brown as a defender, and Caleb Wilson just absolutely cooked him in this game. It was really impressive. Um, this pass, like I really don't know what he's doing here. Sar's got long arms. So, like he tips it immediately. And it's like, do you really need to pass this ball out, especially when Trimble's not moving? Like, I feel like he could have held on to it. Luckily, he gets it back here. So then he reads, okay, the double's coming. Now he makes the better read, passes. Trimble hits the three, right? Okay. He made up for it a little bit. He saw that and was trying to make that happen. Or I'm sorry, that was Dixon who hit the three. But, so there's like flashes with his passing. There's things that he does solidly when it comes to the passing, but there's a lot of things where I'm like, okay, there's really more to desire here. When you're looking at it with Cameron Boozer, who we're going to get to in a second once we come back from the break, um, Wilson had played better in this game. You know, he was shooting it at a ridiculous rate, and there's a lot that's like super close to him. So I'm really looking forward to we're going to talk about Boozer once we get back in the break, and then I'll kind of break down where I think these two are compared to each other. All right, let's move right into Cameron Boozer. Let's talk about it a little bit. Okay. Um, Again, he played pretty well in this game also. 11 rebounds. He was kind of all over the place with his scoring. Um, the moments where sometimes he tried to do too much, and that's kind of what we're going to kind of dive into within this game. So here's Cameron Boozer at the top of the key. First play I grabbed, there's 6:38 left in the first half. It's 23-22 Duke. Um, Boozer, again, like he is a flat out stud when getting the ball inside the paint. He does a great job of screening off ball. He's the kind of guy where he really does a lot of things right. He's always in the right spot. He's a winner. He's kind of like your perfect prospect. He's really just NBA ready right now. You know, um, and there's just small things with him. And that's, I think, why a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, he's like the clear three. Because a lot of people are like, oh, Peterson could be like legit stud, right? And Debansa, it's the potential. It's the potential that everybody sees in him. And then Caleb Wilson, that's kind of the same way, it's the potential, it's the competitiveness. Debansa, it's the same. Boozer is just kind of the guy where it's like, oh, he's NBA ready. He's ready to go. And that's what we're going to discuss here. So, again, first play, 6:34 left, catch on the wing. Caleb Wilson reacts completely to the jump shot here because Boozer is 100% can shoot it. I think he shoots it around 35% from three. He's 100% a threat here. So Wilson over contest, again, a 0.2 decision. Boozer goes right in. Fantastic job going off 2 feet here. It's perfect here. I'm going to rewind a second right until he gets the ball here. But he gets the ball. Wilson's overreacting to the shot. So quick 0.2 seconds. Wilson is just a little like off balance now, right? So, okay, you're more physical than him, right? You're a bigger body. So let's get him off his spot even more. Just initiates the contact. Wilson takes his arms away so he doesn't foul. And this immediately means, okay, Boozer's got the advantage. Goes right through, right into his left hand, finish. That was fantastic there by Boozer. And a play where I love somebody going off 2 feet right there. Okay, blob here. Boozer hits. This is Caden Boozer hits Isaiah Evans in the corner. Cameron Boozer lifts up, and he gets an inverted screen and roll from Dame Sar at the top of the key. V-Star's on him. V-Star can move his feet a little bit and then is a pretty solid rim protector. But again, like once you get a screen, you're going to have an advantage here. So Dixon helps then on the screen and roll, and Boozer tries to get to 2 feet again. Don't mind that decision, right? But what happens is one of his legs get caught, right? So he gets caught here, and now he's got to make a decision. He sees he has corner. He sees that there's opportunities there, but he's completely off balance, right? Instead, he kind of just flails up a floater. This is not a decision that I think is very smart. If you look again, he's going to go through. He's got corner here because the defender that's guarding his brother is just completely in help here. There's 3 guys watching him, right? If you actually look, the whole North Carolina team is ball watching Boozer because of how talented of a player he is. So to me, when you're in a situation like this, just immediately kick the ball, that's my take there. Like, I just don't think there's any point to throw up this floater there. I just didn't think it was a good decision by Boozer there. They ended up getting the offensive rebound, which kind of led into kick to Caden Boozer, his brother, and then Caden gives it to Cameron. Visar hands down. This is why Cameron can really shoot it. Like, look at his form here. It's one motion. It's smooth. He just puts it up. right in. He's going to be a legit shooter when he walks into the NBA. I think he can turn into a 40% three-point shooter, which that's something scary for NBA guys. I mean, he's going to really be able to shoot it. I think he's legit on that end, and he's going to be a really, really good scorer. Like, I could see him being like Paulo level. That's why I love this class, because to me, there's four guys that are stars. That's why I'm doing so many podcasts on all of these guys to try to break them down completely. Like, these guys are really, really good at basketball, which is part of the reason you'll see multiple videos of me kind of breaking down what exactly these guys do well, what um what things I really like want to discuss, and what things I see to make me realize to share with you guys like why I think they're going to be so good. Okay, 17:24 left. Duke's up 9 right now. In transition here. Bad North Carolina miss. Boozer grabs the rebound, and then he starts taking it um, in transition again, like showing the ability to dribble it up the floor, be a point guard if needed. And then this is just a great drive. Just bullies Vsar at the rim, like absolutely bullies. He goes one on one. He's not passing it. He goes right through Vsar off 2 feet. Perfect drive there. Absolutely huge. Puts Duke up 11 in that situation. All right, 8:30 second half. Duke's up 6. The boozer pick and roll. He decides to pop it here. Perfect decision because the guard went over. Caleb Wilson was helping. Nobody's on him at the moment. Goes right into his shot. Fantastic. Fantastic decision. Perfect right there. He did play really good in this game. Like, there were moments that we'll get into. But overall, he was really good. Okay, 3:50 left, 4-point game. It's getting down to the nitty gritty. He's got either Tremble or Dixon trying to front him in the post. Malik Brown gets open, shoots a three, and look at the position he's already in because of the front, right? And does an elite job boxing out here. Just boom, right up. That's perfect. That's what you teach every big man to do. 100% great. He was doing this great throughout the game. Now, this is something we talked about with Cooper Flagg last year. This might be a Duke problem because we're at the stage where I made a reel of Asher saying it last year, like Cooper Flagg's clutch gene, right? Cameron Boozer's clutch gene, like, I'm questioning it now, because there's a lot of things where it was like, okay, you had one-on-one, you had opportunities, and you weren't able to get it done. So let's dive into it, right? Isaiah Evans has the ball. Get it to Boozer. Boozer's got one-on-one here. Tries to get some cut motion here. Instead, North Carolina just switches it. And guess what? Boozer got what he wanted. He got an off-balance defender here. He made a decision quickly, and Wilson's off balance. So he goes right by, right? But let's rewind. Why is he not going straight downhill? Instead, he kind of goes to the side and lets Wilson catch him, right? If he goes straight downhill here, then Wilson's kind of on his back, and it might not work out as well. Boozer drives and then does a spin. It's a good decision to do a spin, but he decides to do like a leaning layup, and that really allows Wilson to use his athleticism, which is what he does. That's his game. Boozer's not using his strength. He's trying to lean and sneak a finish instead of using his strength and trying to bully Wilson off of the spot, right? Like what he was doing earlier in the game and scoring off of. Instead, he tries to lean and get a layup here. Wilson's able to deter the shot enough to go awry, right? That's just the small decision-making stuff where it's like, okay, why aren't you going into the contact and then scoring off of that, right? Instead, he decides to sneak a shot where it's like, okay, that's not really your game, man. And you're just letting a great defender in Caleb Wilson, whose strength is to use his athleticism to try to rim protect, right? To go and make a play on you. So that's my questioning there with Boozer in his first big moment there. So it's still 68-68. Your team got to stop, right? He catches it on the high post here. He's got Wilson on him again. He tries to get VSAR on him, right? That's a good decision. He's got VSAR on him now. So now it's like, okay, one-on-one. I completely agree with this decision. You've beaten VSAR multiple times off the dribble. So now, before he makes a decision here, right, what should Boozer do, right? He should go through VSAR, right? That's the thing, because Boozer has used his physicality and North Carolina can't compete with his physicality. Guess what? Nobody can compete with his physicality in college basketball. It's just the truth. He's the biggest guy, right? So here we go. Dribbles it, gets VSAR off his feet a little bit, right? Boom, right into a jump stop. Fantastic, right? He's in great position here. Pump fake, great. VSAR is on his feet now. What should Boozer do? He should go right into VSAR, draw a foul, or just finish through him, right? Instead, fades away, tries to embellish, puts his head back, fade, misses the layup, right? In the biggest situation of the game. We'll rewind, watch it one more time, just so you guys can see it on YouTube. Sorry, guys, on Spotify, I tried to give you the best viewpoint, but again, goes right downhill against VSAR, goes off to, gets him in the air, and then fades, right? And those are situations you just have to finish. You just 100% have to finish. Guess what? North Carolina goes down, hits a three, wins the game at the buzzer, right? Those are just big. They're big moments. That's what's going to lose you games in March, And I feel like I'm sounding like campy right now, but guess what? That's who I was trained by. So, you know what? Just deal with it, right? So, overall, again, Boozer was unbelievable throughout the game. But those are just two plays. Like, those are concerning, Like, those are plays where you can 100%, 1000% learn from. And I'm sure Duke's staff went over it. Duke's got an unbelievable staff, right? So, like, going over that stuff and completely drilling it down, like Cooper Flagg's getting better in the clutch, Like, you're just seeing guys, like, learn from those moments, right? So, that's just kind of like the inside I wanted to give you there. So assist to turnover, let's talk about it a little bit. This is 37 seconds left in the game. It's a blob play. He gives it to his brother. He's got a post touch here with VSAR. He's on around the right elbow. And Malik Brown sets a great flare screen here. And his brother does a great job moving into an open area. Cameron hits his brother right back, and Caden hits the three. Fantastic there. That just shows you, like, in ball positioning, like, Cameron is going to make the right passes, at the right time. And it's something that Matt Griffin and I talked about off air, but Cameron's passing is something that's so underrated. Like, so underrated. He is a fantastic passer and a fantastic decision maker. And he had some plays where it was really good. I talked about it in the Caleb part. He had the really good read off the double team, right? Here's where some of the mistakes can come in. Okay. So he gets the pin down, catches, quick decision, trying to use the screen, right? He uses the Dame Sar screen, and then quick decision, trying to hit Sar right off there. Guess who's switched? The guy that switched onto him was Dixon, right? I'd rather him try to dribble it out and isolate Dixon, or just dribble it out and try, and if they scram switch and bring Caleb Wilson back on him, fine, right? Instead, he tries to make a quick decision right into Sar. Guess what? There's an athletic guy that switched off of you in Caleb Wilson. His strength is his length, right? Right away, steals the ball here and just takes it from him, right? This is just the quick learning, the quick learning, the quick decisions, where it's got to be like, oh, who's the guy that's switching? It's Wilson. Then I can't make that pass, And that's just the quick stuff that everybody's got to learn. So 10-16 here. His brother Caden's got the ball. Gives him a post entry here. Quick double. So you got VSAR and Caleb Wilson on the left block with Boozer here. And then here he takes a great dribble out and then just tries to make probably the hardest pass in basketball, which is a jump, skip, pass completely to the other side of the corner. And if a guy's in the right position, they're always going to steal. So again, it's just those things. Like, he's just trying to make too good of a pass here. His processing is fantastic. and some of the passes he makes are really incredible, but he doesn't need to make the pass where it's too good. He just doesn't. He is such a dominant scorer and such a dominant like physical threat where here, like once he catches this and takes a dribble out, just making the quick decision, like see number one here, Caleb Foster, wide open on the high post. Here he predetermines and goes, "Oh, I'm just hitting the corner." He looks open, right? Instead of like processing, staying balanced, fake high, little bounce pass to Foster, right? Makes it easy. Foster can make a decision wide open on the high post. Okay, let's get this screen share off and we'll compare the two. So, looking at these two are so talented. Like it's just unbelievable. And there's a clear 3-4 to me. Uh After the game, I went with my initial gut reaction and was like, "Oh, I'm moving Wilson over." Like I love Wilson. Some of the stories about his competitiveness are just ridiculous. This guy is a competitor. ESPN's highlighting it in a fantastic way, and I love that in prospects. That's part of the reason why I wanted to move him ahead of Boozer. But everything about Boozer, I just love. He does things the right way. He plays off two. There's very few things he doesn't do well, and he's just a winner. So it's hard for me to move him. And especially since I love the top two so much. So it's hard for me to like put him ahead of those two. I think both of them are going to be stars, but right now I'm sticking Boozer at 3 and Wilson at 4. Wilson got the W in this game, but the thing is everything rolls around Boozer, right? He's getting doubled all over the place, but Duke was confident enough, especially early in the game, to just throw one at Wilson, and Wilson's just got to earn the respect a little more. And yes, Wilson's dealing with the hand injury now, so he's going to be out for a little bit. And I don't know if we'll see Wilson see the amount of doubles that will happen. And if this is a serious injury, then it's probably going to hurt his draft stock, and he's probably not going to be anywhere close to Boozer. But I'm telling you how competitive that guy is. I think he's 1000% the fourth best player in this class. And it's going to be hard for me to move him under that, because he's that good. But I'm telling you, this is closer than a lot of people think. Wilson is that legit. He's really, really good. I think Boozer's a clear 3 here, and Boozer's that legit too. But it's so cool that we got 4 guys that I truly believe are going to be stars in the NBA. All right, that is going to wrap up the show for today. Thank you guys so much for listening, watching, wherever you're at. This one's definitely, you kind of got to watch it. I did my best to kind of set the scene here. Again, I'm always looking to improve. And I really like doing the film. It's cool to really kind of break it down and discuss it. I get to watch it all the time by some of the best assistant coaches in college basketball and preparing teams for scouting. So I get to learn from that, and trying to get my reps in on the podcast is always super fun. So thank you guys so much for listening, watching, wherever you're at. Go like, subscribe on YouTube, and give us those 5 stars on Spotify. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.